What is going on, everybody? Today we're looking at some McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse figures. So first up here we have some Superman characters. So first off we have the classic Superman, or it's labeled DC Classic, and just a nice classic look to Superman there. Overall looks pretty decent. The face is a little bit awkward, has like a toothy smile, so that's not too good, but everything else about it looks fine. And then we have Steel. So from the reign of Superman we get another character with Steel, and he looks awesome there. And then we have some Batman characters behind that. So we have Nightwing, and what's a classic looking Nightwing, but from Knightfall specifically. So that's pretty cool with the weird Nightwing design there. So we'll of course take a look at that. And then finally we have Jim Gordon as Batman. So Jim Gordon in a Batman suit there. So that is pretty cool. And we get the Jim Gordon head there to go along with it from that specific storyline. So we got 4 characters to look at here today, 2 from Superman and 2 from Batman, which all look pretty cool. So I'm excited to check these out. So let me get them out of the box and we'll take a look at them together. So we're going to start off with classic Superman, and of course we know his backstory is Kal-El, Clark Kent from Krypton, came to Metropolis, all that sort of stuff. So it won't go into too much detail. I may read his card just to kind of give you that information, but of course we know Superman in the basic form here, and I love this design, having it classic. Looks really nice with the light like baby blue spandex outfit. Of course we have his red cape down the back, the red underwear and boots with the yellow belt around the waist, and then of course the S on his chest, the symbol for hope, the red S in the diamond with the yellow background. So just looks nice and classic, and of course you can tell they just repainted over, so he still has like the cuff designs around his wrist and down on the boots there at the top. So we have had this basic body design before, but it just looks nice in these lighter colors. The cape looks all nice, how it's kind of like flowing in the wind there, so all that looks really nice. Now the biggest issue though is the head. This head just looks awful, at least in certain positions. Like, basically doesn't look too bad with his hair all slicked back, has the curl in the front, classic for Superman. Just that toothy smile he has is horrible. Just, I don't know what they were thinking, giving him that smile with the teeth showing like that. Just looks super weird. So that's the only thing about it, like especially when the head's angled down a little bit, just the way the smile there looks with the teeth just looks crazy. So not the best looking head for Superman, which always seems to be an issue. Like this will get a nice looking body, but then have a weird head on it. So it's like McFarlane can't make the perfect Superman still. There's always just something off about it. Otherwise, the rest of the body and everything looks really good for this. I'm happy with everything else, just that weird face. But we'll do his movement, so his head will twist all the way around. He'll look down that far and up that far, so still not the best, and especially trying to get Superman in a flying pose. It seems a little bit better, but still needs to look up a little bit farther. Then we get the shoulders that come up to 90 with that butterfly joint and can rotate around. Then we get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that bends pretty much all the way up on itself there. So nice movements with the wrist that'll twist around, and then it has the ball joint so there it can flex up and down. Then we go to his ab crunch under the chest there, so crunch back and forth just a little, but crunching back and forth, and then can barely twist at all, so pretty much nothing. But then at the waist itself, he can crunch back and forth and twist all the way around. Then we go down to his hips that can come up at least that far. I'm trying to push harder, so not all the way up to 90, and then out to the side can obviously do the splits there. And there's no thigh twist or anything, so it's all hard in there. But then we get the double knee joint that does bend up at least that far to the back, which isn't too bad, all the way down to the feet where we get the foot that flexes back and forth and can twist side to side with the toe joint on the end. So decent movements, of course, looks like the normal McFarlane, although some limitations that kind of surprised me, like in the hips and then the crunches and the abs, but he works out just fine. Don't really need much more than what he's got, but otherwise it's still got all the same McFarlane movements. Now accessory wise, we do actually get some accessories with these, so we get some extra hands. So we have the flat flying hands, so always nice to have those, especially if we pose up Superman. And then we also have some like gripping hands, or like hands for reaching out, grasping, whatever you want to call it there. So we get those set of hands as well to go along with them. And for our base, of course, we get our normal, that's base and flight stand as well, so we can put him on the base or put him up in flying mode. So not sure what I want to do with him there. I'll just stand him on the base for now. And there I got Superman posed up a little again. Looks pretty nice except for that weird smile. And of course we do get his card as well. So there it is, labeled DC Classic. So Superman carrying Lois Lane there with the Daily Planet in the background. That all looks nice. And then on the back we have his card. Of course his real name is Kal-El Clark Kent. And it says Superman is the world's greatest hero. He is a tireless champion dedicated to protecting life and battling injustice, not only in the city of Metropolis, but all over his adopted world and across the universe. Multiverse. With his fantastic powers and abilities fueled by his alien cells, which hyper efficiently process solar energy of Earth's yellow sun, Superman is unstoppable force for good and a steadfast punisher of evil. Superman is a founding member of the Justice League and an inspiration to countless other heroes, continuing into the 31st century and beyond. So there's a little good explanation of the background of Superman and I guess why they made that figure. So like I said, overall body wise, this Superman is just nearly perfect. Like I like everything about it. Obviously, if they want to even make it more classic, obviously they would have to get rid of like the bumps around the wrists and on the boots and stuff, just make them pretty much completely flat or a very little raised design. But everything about the outfit and everything is just perfect for me. Now we just need a better face to go along with this. And next up, we have Steel, which is John Henry Irons. And following the death of Superman, John decided he must take action, so he forged a suit of armor with flight boots, a cape, and an S on his chest as the new Man of Steel, literal Man of Steel, becoming Steel. And overall, he looks cool here. This is an awesome design. Love this. So it's pretty much a Superman, but all in an armor, almost I'd say like Iron Man. But it looks pretty cool with the all steel body. So, just a human body covered in steel from head to toe, so we can really see that in the face. So I love how they carried out the likeness of the face and everything. That looks nice with the wide eyes and just how much detail you see of the face. But then the rivets on the head there gives it away that is covered in steel, not like a Silver Surfer type character. So that looks nice with the red cape hanging down off his back. So it just looks like a nice cape design. But I love how he has like the big armor pads up on his arms, and of course the steel covering his body all the way down. So he's got some wrist gauntlets all the way down to the hands. Then we have the S logo on his chest. So I love how it's got like this sort of broken up white. It almost looks like, chalk or something like drawn on top of it. So that looks pretty nice. And then the steel continuing down the body. And I love how they have this like little bit of blue paint thrown in just to add some like highlights and stuff to it. Then we have the underwear piece with a belt around the waist, and then the steel legs going down all the way to the big steel clunky boots. Now, unfortunately on the boots for him, it makes him a little hard to stand just with the design on the bottom, that allows him to fly his flight boots, and then just the curve of the design with the toes and stuff kind of makes it a little hard to stand. So there is a little bit of issues with that on this figure, but I'm sure with the stand and stuff, he'll work out just fine. But we'll do his movement so his head can twist all the way around. He can look down that far and up that far. So not bad movements there. Still, not looking up far enough, but not bad. The shoulders come up to 90 with the butterfly and rotate around. Get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint. That feels a little stiff, but can pretty much bend all the way up on himself once again with the wrist that twists around and has the ball joint. So it flexes back and forth there. Then we go to the ab crunch. So under the S here, we get a crunch back and forth and can twist around, although it feels like it goes all the way around. And then at his waist, I don't know if it's just stuck or what, but I can't really get him to crunch or twist around at all. It's just the ab crunch there. So I'm not sure if there's something going on with that or if it's just designed that way, but either way, it doesn't matter. Then we get the hips that come up and again, trying to force it there. Feel like that's about as far as I can go. So again, under 90 and out to the side. There's very little thigh twist on him, but the double knee joint will bend to the back at least that far once again. So pretty much the same as that last Superman. Then down to the foot, we get that does flex back and forth. So a little bit different ankle joint. It's real stiff though, it flexes back and forth and can of course twist side to side and has the toe joint on the end. So a little bit of issues there, don't get that lower ab crunch, and then the foot kind of was hard to flex back and forth. And like I said, getting him to stamp isn't the easiest with that foot design. Now accessory wise, the only thing we really get with him is his hammer. So he comes with his kinetic hammer, which looks pretty cool. So obviously just a big powerful hammer that he can use to fight. And it's made of the steel color as well, but I love how it has the blue design and like paint splotches on it as well, so that's cool. So let's try and put this in his hand, and there's the hammer in his hand, and that looks really cool. And then we also get the base with him, so we can put him on. Hopefully that'll help him stand better. And finally we have his card, so there's a nice picture of him, and it's going to be from Reign of Superman, so that looks really nice. And on the back, of course, we have that it is John Henry Irons, where it says, during one fateful day at a construction site, Superman saved former engineer John Henry Irons' life. Following Superman's deadly battle with Doomsday, Irons took up the mantle to protect Metropolis. Using his technical expertise, Irons constructed a power armor suit adorned with the iconic S shield as tribute. John Henry's armor granted him super strength and flight. Irons also developed a weaponized self-propelled hammer in honor of John Henry's American folk hero namesake. After Superman's return, Irons continued his work on two fronts, aiding the world through technology with his company Steelworks and protecting the skies of Metropolis as steel. So there's a good background, gives you a little more information on him, making that a good figure to add to the collection. Now we do have other figures we can add with him from that reign of Superman. So of course we have the returned Superman, so Superman in the all black, and then we do also have Superboy as well. So again, still have other figures to get with the reign of Superman characters like Cyborg, Superman, and Eradicator, but at least we have these figures to go all together now for the reign of Superman. So that's cool to really get this steel. It looks awesome. Like I said, they'll only have some issues with some of the joints, which doesn't really matter because, you know, all I really cared about is the look of the figure, but just those feet have some issues getting him to stand, so we'll definitely have to keep him on the base to help keep him steady, but he just looks so awesome there, so really glad that we got this steel figure. And next up, we have the Knightfall version of Nightwing, who is Dick Grayson. He was the first Robin brought into the Bat family, but after being shot by the Joker, Batman ended his sidekick career, but Dick continued on to work with the Teen Titans and took on the new identity as Nightwing. And overall, he looks pretty cool. Of course, he is from Knightfall, so it is a weird story with weird designs, and especially for Nightwing. Now, of course, this figure to me doesn't carry off all the weirdness. Like sometimes, you know, when he first became Nightwing, he had the high collar, so he doesn't have that at least, but he does have these yellow, what would be normally like his wing designs for Nightwing that goes off to the side, which usually kind of hangs over and covers in between here, but they did their best with the paint to try and blend that in. And then of course he does have the longer hair at this point, so he has almost like the mullet design with a little bit shorter hair up top and longer hair in the back, but at least in this figure they put it in the ponytail. I thought it'd be cool if they gave him the long hair design, you know, the free flowing long hair, but having it in the ponytail is pretty iconic for the early 90s as well. And overall it looks pretty dorky just with this all blue outfit design, so it's got this little bit darker blue from his domino mask and then all his spandex from his neck all the way down, but then he has lighter blue like for his gloves and his boots there, and then has the weird belt on his chest with what's supposed to be, you know, his like Nightwing logo with the yellow belt and pockets, and like I said, that yellow there on his chest going around some at the top of his gloves and boots as well with that yellow design. And then this one specifically comes with one of his discs, so whatever his batarangs would be there for Nightwing, he has that in his hand as well. But we can do his movements, so his head will twist all the way around. He can look down that far and up that far, so again, about the same movements as the other figures. Shoulders up to 90 with the butterfly and rotate around. We get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that can bend all the way up on itself there. And then we also get the wrist that'll twist around and has the hinge back and forth. Then we go to the ab crunch, so crunch back and forth and twist all the way around. And then crunch at the waist and twist around. Down to the hips, we can come up pretty much to 90 and out to the side. Pretty much no thigh twist, but a double knee joint that bends up that far to the back. And then the foot will flex back and forth and twist side to side with the toe joint on the end. So the movements are decent, you know, obviously the same movements for all the McFarlanes, and as you can tell, it reuses the body that we got with like that blue beetle and stuff with the band there around the top. So I love how they just always paint over that instead of just making a base body and adding that on to figures when they need them. They just kind of use the same body and just paint right over it, so hopefully you don't notice. But overall, I like the design for this. Just having that nice smooth basic body is always nice to get with classic comic characters, and it overall works out for Nightwing. Just obviously, like, so they could put a little bit more detail, especially into like the yellow wing designs. But accessory wise, he does come with some additional hands, so we get some just random hands. So we have like a flat palm hand, whatever you want to call there, and a fist hand to kind of go opposite there, since he already has the fist on the left, so we get one for the right. And then we get two grip hands, so we have a small grip there, probably hold like a stick or something, but of course he doesn't come with any sticks at this point. And then a grip hand with like a trigger finger, but don't really need use for any of those since he doesn't come with anything else. And of course we get his base, we'll put him on. So there's Nightwing posed up with that disc in his hand, and then we get his card as well. So there's a picture of what he's supposed to look like from Knightfall, so you can see some of the yellow wing designs come out and over a little bit more, so they just painted it on that one, but it looks pretty cool. And on the back, of course, we have that he is Richard Dick Grayson, and it says Dick Grayson has made a name for himself over the years and on more than one occasion. Throughout his valiant life, Grayson has proven himself to be one of the most resilient and brilliant crime fighters in the world and a natural leader. His charisma is as potent as his combat skills, acrobatic flair, and deductive gifts. He is a hero's hero who maintains an infectiously positive outlook despite facing much tragedy in his life. So there's a little bit better background, and overall, like I said, it is a cool figure, especially to get him with the Knightfall, and especially with the Knightfall Azraels and stuff what they have coming out. So overall, I really enjoy this. It's a weird look for him, but for those weird looks, it is pretty nice, especially compared to like his, you know, more modern designs that we normally see Nightwing with the all black with like the blue or red design on him. So getting this funny classic look is pretty awesome as well. And finally, we have the Jim Gordon version of Batman, which of course Jim Gordon is the commissioner of Gotham City Police Department, but following the death of Batman, Powers International planned for a Batman-inspired task force, and Jim was chosen as their first candidate. Though hesitant at first, he began intense training and given surgical muscle implants to become a new Batman with a Batman-inspired robot armor named Rookie. And of course, with Rookie, I did a review on that figure from the old DC Multiverse under Mattel, but I don't think we have that anymore, but it'd be cool to go along with this. But overall, he looks awesome here. So of course, he is wearing a bat suit, so he has this all black and yellow Batman suit with camouflaging capabilities, and then he has the Rookie armor that he can get into, which gives him, some extra powers and stuff to be able to actually fight crime. But overall, looks pretty cool. So with it being Jim Gordon and stuff, it is really thin, so especially compared to Batman being big and muscular, he is pretty thin. Still has, muscular body and stuff, but thin overall. So we have the Batman head, which does look like just a normal Batman head, so it kind of looks big on this smaller body, so a little bit awkward there. But then we have the all black suit, so pretty much skin tight all black suit. But I love the bat logo on his chest with the yellow outline, so we got that there. A little bit of yellow up on his shoulders, and he even has a strap going around here, so probably to somewhat carry a gun or whatever. It's just a pocket on here since he is a police officer, and being strapped up and stuff, having the straps on there in yellow looks pretty cool on that. Just adds pop of color onto it with black everywhere else for the rest of the body on this nice thin body. So overall it looks pretty decent. Like I said, just the bat head looks a little bit awkward because it's so big, but we can do his movement, so his head will twist all the way around. He can look down that far and up that far, so somewhat decent movements. The shoulders come up to 90, of course, with the butterfly a little bit back and forth and rotate around. We get the bicep twist and the double elbow joint that once again can bend all the way up on itself, with the wrist that'll twist around and can hinge back and forth. Then we go to the ab crunch, so upper ab crunch back and forth and twist around, and then at the waist crunch and twist around. Then the hips will come up. You guys gotta be careful with the belt here because I think it is attached on this side, so if you're moving it, it can come undone. So you just gotta be careful. It can come up that high and then out to the side there, and then doesn't feel like there's any thigh twist. The double knee joint does come up that far to the back, almost kicking his butt, very close to hitting it there. With the foot, that'll flex back and forth and twist side to side with the toe joint on the end. So pretty decent movements. Having the thinner body does help, to get a lot better movements and everything, but overall, just the standard McFarlane joints. But accessory wise, we do get an extra head for him. So we have the Jim Gordon head, so this is what he looked like at this point. So it's pretty much the shaved head with almost like the mohawk or whatever there, and just a weird looking face. Obviously he looks much younger than he should or whatever, but let's go and switch his head out to see what it looks like. So there he is with the unmasked head, which doesn't look bad on that. Like, still looks pretty big, but it doesn't look horrible, especially just looking at it straight on there. I thought it'd look a lot weirder. Then he comes with some extra hands, so we get a set of fist hands, so just plain fist. We get a set of just open hands, whatever, those sort of hands out there. And then we get the extra hands, the one that comes with like the pointing finger hand and the thumbs up hand as well. So just those extra McFarlane's hands we've gotten over time. And for weapons, he comes with the bat grapple, so we just have the gun with the Batman grapple, which has the logo that somewhat matches the one on his chest, but I think that looks decent. So let's try and put this in his hand. And there's Gordon with that gun, which looks pretty decent, like I said. And then of course we do also get the base that we can put him on. Now it did happen to us again where we ordered this figure originally and we ended up getting the platinum edition one. So we got this one, that's the blue version. I think it's supposed to be showing off his camouflage abilities with this outfit. So he's got this all nice metallic blue, which looks really nice. But yeah, we just got this one, so we then had to reorder again and got the right one. But yeah, there we get the two versions of Jim Gordon as Batman, which is cool. And then just to show, I just found some random Batman. I want to say this is probably like the Hush Batman, but I just thought the outfit looked most like the new 52 design, just so you can see the size difference and everything between Jim Gordon Batman and normal Batman there. So that looks pretty cool as well. And finally, we have his card. So there's a picture of him from the comics from Batman in-game. And on the back, we know that it's Jim Gordon, but it says, following Bruce Wayne's disappearance, Commissioner James Gordon was invited to head up Gotham City's Batman task force as the new Batman for a time. Gordon got into shape and became the best Batman he could be, piloting a giant mechanical suit, which he affectionately referred to as Rookie. So there's a little bit more of what I already said. So overall, this is a pretty decent looking figure. A weird figure I think that they decided to make. I just feel it's a little bit more obscure why they decided to make it, but it is cool, and I think they carried out the look pretty well. So overall, it is nice. Well, that's gonna be it for this DC Multiverse wave, where we got the DC Classic Superman, John Henry Iron Steel, Nightwing from Knightfall, and Jim Gordon as Batman. All four of these figures are really cool. I like a lot of them. Of course, all have little issues that could be better or improved, like Superman not having that weird smile, Steel having a little bit better feet so he could stand up without a base. Nightwing just could have a little bit better costume design to carry that out instead of just paint, and a little bit smaller head on the Gordon Batman. But otherwise, they all look really nice. Love the basic designs of these. They all carry out the looks really well and are nice additions to the collection. So let me know what you thought of these four down in the comments. And if you enjoyed my review, let me know with a like on this video. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to see more. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.